bum bum bada bum 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 bada bum 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 bada bum bada bum bada bada bum 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 bada bum bum bum. Just in case. Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Jesus Christ. I'm just, oh yeah. The fucking PT boats! Jesus. Yes. I'm alright. I am currently, writing scripts for Rasmus Negativity Chapter 3, because Chapter 2, is fully voice acted. Yes, that is a thing. I am very, very happy that it's finally fucking done. I just have to process the video whenever I'm able to do that. My computer's having another problem again, so I won't be able to do a lot of stuff on it, including, you know, new music, new videos. So, I'm preparing for future stuff right now. So yeah, that's how I'm doing. Rasmus Negativity Chapter 2 is fully voice acted. I just need to, you know, process video stuff. I mean, you still gotta get your thing of number 1 out. It's... What's it been? It's almost been a month. It's almost been a fucking month, mate! Jesus. It's fine. You're good. Alright. Yes. Watch the World Burn is probably my favorite Falling in Reverse song to date. I think it is just the best one of them. Like, I don't think there's anyone who will disagree with me on that. It is by far the best one. There's so much going on in it, and it just sounds fantastic because of it. The genre bending that Ronnie does with it. Chef's kiss. Oh yeah. He's gotten really good over the years. I think he started the rap stuff in the album Fashionably Late. Which that album is extremely diverse. It has some of the weirdest genre flips that Ronnie's ever done. Um, sorry. There's actually one of those songs is country, of all things. So, and after that, I think was the Carry On album. Um, and then Drugs, where he started doing the single thing that he's been doing for a while. And here we are, you know. Yes, a country song. I can't remember the name of it, but yes, it exists. Indeed. Yes. So this is just kind of a chill stream, I guess, you know. Q&A stuff. Hanging out, you know. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask. Well, Negativity Chapter 2. In terms of what? Like, in terms of story, in terms of emotion, in terms of characters? What do you mean? Well, main characters this time around are we still have Jack as the main character. We still have David for parts of it. But we also meet Evan Michaels in the first section actually. And that is something that I'm very excited to show because you hear his voice in the Jesus Christ, you hear his voice in the recordings, but you don't hear his voice before he, you know, went insane and crazy. And not only do you get to hear his voice while he is, you know, normal, you also get to see how it happened, how he got the way he is. Like, what exactly happened to make him do that? Like, what exactly drove him so insane that he would kill one of his friends, his mentor at this point? So I think that'll be an interesting journey. David, of course, is still, you know, a part of it. But aside from chapters 2 and 3, he doesn't play a very, or sections 2 and 3 in the chapter. He doesn't play a very big part. I mean, I think chapter 3 is where his character shines the most in the series, but chapter 2, section 3 is the second best shining point for him because he is kind of put in the spotlight here and he's faced with a very, very difficult decision. Um, that has serious repercussions for the story going forward. The after effects of his decision that he is forced to make are huge. Um, they impact pretty much everything, not only in the Winter Society story, but they impact pretty much everything in the fall going forward. This one this one split second instinct choice that he has to make. And I think it is extremely interesting what exactly that choice brings. So, sorry about the yawning. I've been doing a lot of that this stream. But I think that in the end, while he makes what would be considered the right choice, he doesn't make it like he makes what would be considered by any bystander or person who's just watching in. He chooses the right choice. He picks the right choice. But in terms of the story, David really sets the entire course of Rise with Negativity going forward in action. Technically, like I'm not saying this is a definite, but like technically he causes Evan Michaels to be the way he is. Like in the most roundabout way. I think that David is the person who leads Evan down the path that he goes. And yeah, it's heavy. This next section, it will continue to get heavier, but I think just yeah, I really think chapter 2 is where everything really ramps up with, tension and Jesus Christ, why do I keep yawning? Please tell me. Why the hell do I keep yawning? I slept very well. But I think, yeah, I think what happens with David, Jack, and Evan in Chapter 2, Part 3 is the official turning point for Rise with Negativity. It puts everything into motion, and really after that point there's no going back. Hope you guys are excited for it. Yeah, Chapter 2, Part 3 is, I mean, looking at it, the sections of Part 3 in each of the chapters are really, really where everything goes down. Like, yeah, because Chapter 1, Part 3 was the encounter, which, yeah, that went down like hell. 2, Part 3 is very similar. There's a very high stakes, high tension moment. Or in this case, an entire, 5-minute plus scene where it's just tension the whole way through. Um, Chapter 3, Part 3 is definitely a big one because Chapter 3 goes on for about, I want to say, like the entire chapter goes on for, I've actually estimated almost an hour. So this is a lot longer than I remember it being, but Part 3 is about half of that. Like the entire arc of Part 3 is half the length of the actual chapter. And that is a God, I'm very scared to voice act that section because that is just going to be difficult. There is a lot there. And it's so unfortunate that I can't animate that section because if I were to choose any section of Rise with Negativity to be fully animated, it would be chapter 3 because it needs it the most with what you guys are going to see, particularly in chapter 3 part 3. It's going to be such a wild ride, that part, because as I said, it's about 30 minutes long. So insane. So you might have to split your reaction to part or rather chapter 3 into 3 sections. I don't know, like not for sure, but God, it's so wild what chapter 3 is going to bring. Chapter 4 is very different because chapter 4 only has 3 parts. And instead of it being part 3, that's where shit goes down. Part 2 is. But because of just what chapter 4 is and what part 2 of that brings, yeah, it fully requires like only 3 parts and part 2 to be, yeah, as you just said there. Yeah, that is the fully revamped, revoice acted scene of Jack Walker's death, which is an inevitable portion of the fall that, like, it can't be avoided. It absolutely can't. So, yeah. Jesus Christ, hold on. Keep typing in the chat. I'm gonna get some water because, oh my God. Believe in me, cause I was born to lead. Oh. Okay, hold on. I will be right back. Stream will just stop for a second. Okay, I am back, and I have decided to do something. I have decided to bring back the infamous background music. As you can hear from the background music, yes, I have been on a bit of an Undertale thing lately. And that's because I have finished my Undertale playthrough. My very first time playing through the pacifist route. And I loved it. That's actually something I really want to talk about because Undertale is... I understand everything. The memes, the hype, the love, the appreciation. I understand everything. Actually, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna change the... Sorry about that again. But I really want to just talk about how good this game is. Undertale is one of those things where you need to play it alone. And you need to play it in like a relatively quick, I guess, session. Like you need to play it, like if you're going to do it, you need to take only tiny increments because it's such a personal experience. And I had so much fun with it. It's really, it's become one of my favorite games of all time. It's up there with Kingdom Hearts 2, Final Fantasy 7 and 10. It's truly an amazing experience, beginning to end, that I find it so interesting how this game offers such an emotional experience because it's an indie game. Like, you can say things like FNAF and Bendy or, you know, a lot of indie games that were made during the time that Undertale was. You can easily say that, you know, they were fun to play, but they really haven't had a lasting impact on anybody emotionally. The only way they've impacted people really is financially. Let's be real, because there's just a ton of FNAF YouTubers. But with Undertale, it's so much different. There's such an emotional element to this game. It's truly an experience that I have loved. The characters are very, they're alive. Every single character has a very distinct personality that you can connect to, you can understand. The game is funny as hell. There were multiple times where I had to, I was processing one of the videos and editing it. I had to cut out a whole bunch because it was just me laughing in my chair for a few minutes at certain points. And it's such a soulful experience. There's so much to love, so much to dive into, so much to appreciate. And honestly, I love it. I love it. And the story. Where do I even fucking begin? The story is honestly one of my favorite stories told in an RPG, a role-playing game. There's this theme that you're hearing right now, his theme from Undertale. It's one of the pieces of the soundtrack. When I first heard it, when it first comes in, I immediately started crying. I was in tears because of the moment that it's placed in. And that's the other thing about the game that I really, really want to fucking talk about. The soundtrack. Perfect. Even though it was made, using probably presets on some random DAW, and only one portion of it had actual instruments, it just did something. There was something so magical about the way Toby Fox composed the soundtrack. Created the characters, their personalities, their backstories, the full story of the game. And also, it's so amazing that I've barely scratched the surface. Like, I went into the game and I was pretty much clueless about a lot of the things. Like, I knew the names of all the characters. I knew all that. But I didn't know just what everything was about. I had never played the game fully. I had only seen episode 1, I think, of the first Jacksepticeye playthrough back in the day when it originally came out. And the only other media that I've checked out from Undertale is Deltarune, with watching playthroughs of other people's experiences with it. And I did play Deltarune Chapter 2 upon its release. I didn't play Chapter 1 because, you know, me, clueless as fuck. But it was just, I played through Undertale. I binge played it over the past week or so. And there is just something so different about it. It's such an amazing experience, and I recommend anyone who has a laptop or a computer or even like a Switch or anything that has Undertale available for purchase, get it. Because this game is so special. It's unique. It's yeah, that's about the only way I can put it. It's so unique compared to every other game I've played. And I mean that. And you know me, I'm like a serious gamer. I played Remnant from the Ashes, and I think that's one of my favorite games. There are a lot of people who don't like it, like at all. But just, oh my god. If you have the chance to go into that story and you haven't gotten spoiled, props to you, by the way, for not getting spoiled, because I did get spoiled on some parts. There were some parts that I knew were coming, but the most interesting thing is that didn't change the impact of those scenes. I think knowing that those portions were coming beforehand actually increased the effect they had on me, because I knew they were coming. I didn't know when they were coming, though. And I just found myself flabbergasted saying, you know, I thought I was heavily spoiled here. I thought I was gonna, you know, be dissatisfied with whatever was shown here, but no. I was very, very impressed with everything. I just want to talk about it more, because there's so much to get into. Like, I actually have a couple theories, you know, going back to Undertale, the pacifist playthrough, and immediately afterwards, of course, looking up other people's playthroughs that I did. There were a few things that I didn't think about before that YouTubers touched on them, but I've looked up a few things and I don't think they've been expanded to ways they could have been. So who knows? I might make like theory videos for Undertale, because there, as I said, there are a lot of things that I think people have like nudged at, like picked at a little bit, but I don't think there's a few things in the story that have not been cleared up. And I love that, because the game has been out for what, almost 8 years now, 2015. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, wow. There's so much put into the game that even after 8 years, that the community still hasn't figured out. That fascinates me. Because you look at FNAF and it took people weeks at most to get everything in each FNAF game upon their release. But with Undertale, it's just such a packed experience. It's so big, it's so large, there's so much to go into, there's so many characters, so many settings, so many entities and items and all that to go into. that I really want to try to shed some light on because people haven't, talked about them. I really want to do that. I think it would be a really, really cool experience. Huh. But yeah, I think that. Hold on. I think that my favorite part of the game would have to be the pacifist route ending. There is just something so special. Spoilers, by the way. I am going to talk about, like, yeah. The pacifist route ending has you fighting not Flowey, but Asriel. And the entire time I was like a mixture, like I was in a mixture of smiling and crying because the entire scene is so beautiful. There's something so special about it. And I will never trade that first experience for anything, ever. There was so much emotion, so much buildup to just a euphoric moment for me in gaming. I thought it was so beautiful. The ending to it is masterfully done. I loved it. But the real question is, when are those videos coming out? I have no idea, actually. I have no set release date for them, because what I plan to do is I plan to, edit and process them, but I plan to have them release all on the same day. I want it to be a big, Winter Does Stuff event. That's where I'm going to be posting them. Sorry if you're not subscribed. If you aren't, do it. I'll let you know what you'll need to put in them, because I'm going to take screenshots of the videos themselves, specific frames for you to put into the thumbnails. So hold off on those. And again, the playthrough that I did was going into every aspect because it's the pacifist mode. So the playthroughs that I've done are hours long. I think I've put well over 12 hours into the game. So it'll take a long time to put out the individual. It'll take a while to edit, it'll take a while to process, it'll take a while to do everything. So again, just wait to make thumbnails, because I'm not exactly sure what's going to be what in what videos. So yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I think that's going to be a more than 12 video event. I think there are going to be so many videos in that playlist. It's gonna be crazy. I think it'll be very similar, in how I do it, to the FNAF B playthroughs when I was doing it. I'm going to, I'm not going to do a lot of editing, but I am going to do, cutting out stuff instead of what I did with FNAF B, because those videos were heinously long. If you guys recall, the first video, I think, was nearly 3 hours, and the second was over 5.5 hours of me just straight playing the game. I will never do that again. I won't put out videos that are that long, ever. By the way, if anyone has those videos, like any videos from the channel downloaded as, videos, send them to me, because I actually want to put a few videos back up on the Winter Does Stuff channel. So I'm actually going to ask about that in the community tab, and I'm going to send out a short, and I'm going to send out a post in the Discord server. Like, if you have downloaded any videos of mine and you still have them, send them, because I want to post stuff. But anyway, I actually do have to go. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave the stream. I think I might actually just leave this stream public for people to see for once. So yeah, Ian, Society, like, comment, all that. Yes, like the stream so that it can get attention later after I publish it. Alright, peace people, in due time.